Okay, I'm out here outside of Segar's house, and Segar is a dog that gets a little bit anxious and yippy and a little bit nervous when guests come over. So in this video, we're going to go over how you can set your dog up for success when you have guests come over, and some tips that you can use. So one of the first things that I always want to look at is, are we setting the dog up to succeed, or are we setting the dog up to fail? Most of us set our dog up to fail accidentally. We don't teach it how we want it to behave. We don't properly set it up with some of the tips I'm going to share in a second, and then we put it in this jackpot situation. We wonder why it doesn't perform well. Well, if you don't teach me how to do something and then put me to do that job, I'm going to do a bad job because I don't know what I'm doing. So for dogs, Segar is not a super duper high energy dog, but he's a dog, and dogs are all great athletes. So before guests come over, it'd be nice if you could exercise him. Now we need to find the Goldilocks amount of exercise, not too much, not too little. Now also, when we have guests come over, we often just have the guests come over because we're actually entertaining, having a party. We don't ever accept for ourselves learning how to do something in the moment. We learn in a classroom. We don't learn to drive on the interstate. We learn in a parking lot. But for dogs, we just try to teach them not to jump up on guests when guests are at the door or barking or snarling. So what we want to do is, instead of actually having a real guest to come over, go through your phone. Look for people that you haven't talked to in a while, and we're getting out of Corona, so look through people you haven't seen in a while. They're like, hey, Terry, we haven't seen you for a long time. You know, we got this dog that we got to practice on having people, him learn how to greet people nicely. We haven't seen you for a while. Why don't we, I'll get you a bottle of wine. Why don't you bring the wife over? We'll come over. You guys can help us a little bit with this greeting. I'll show you this video, this one that we're watching here. And then when we come inside, we can kind of entertain, and you can help us with our dog a little bit. So now they're in on it with you. It's not a real guest. You're not doing a real house party. You're not thinking about dinner and drinks and all the rest of this stuff. You're thinking about focusing on your dog. Your timing and intuition and everything's going to be much better. So before your guests come over, you have them text you. Okay, we're going to leave in about 10 minutes. Okay, so I know to take my dog out for a short walk, or do some scent games, or do some training, or something to burn that excess energy. And then we want to give the dog at least 10 minutes to recover, so not panting before the guests come over. If you don't give them that 10 minutes rest, they'll behave worse than they ever have. All right, now when they come over, you do one of two things, and I'm going to show you both of them. I usually would do one or the other. Now, what I've done right here is, if you can see right here, I'm going to have the camera come over and follow me. You see that you can come closer, and you see I have about 4 or 5 treats here, and I have a treat trail that's going up these stairs and going all the way to his front door. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm going to have you do, and you can come back to me, is what I usually do is I would not have it here. I'm going to have it here just for the expediency, and we're going to show this one second. But I would normally do it where maybe I would have the person park their car in the driveway, and the idea is we want the dog to come out the door and not see the person. Now, again, the trail of treats. If we only have this trail of treats when people are here, well then I expect the people are here. So what we would do is we would exercise the dog and then have the trail of treats leading up to where the person's going to be without the person being there. So the dog just gets, oh, this is one of those days that I go out and find the trail of treats, and we walk to the street and I get a whole bunch of treats and nothing else. This is the best day ever. And after we've done that 5 or 6 times, that's what the dog expects when it comes out. Now we have a person at the end of sitting there at the end. Now I'm going to show you that one second. The first one I'm going to show you is what I like to call a delayed entry. So the delayed entry, we have, we're here in the Midwest, and so we have an exterior door, screen door, and we have an interior door. Now what I've done is beforehand, and one other tip. There's a window off to the side of the door. If the dog sees the person coming, they're going to work themselves into a frenzy. By the time they actually open the door, the dog is already worked up. So one of the little tips I have, if you have windows on the side of the door like we have here, is to cover the bottom section of the window with white paper. The white paper allows the light to come through, but the dog can't see anybody coming up. And it also doesn't see, if you get an Amazon delivery driver, your dog runs the window and barks and bark, 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 and the Amazon driver walks up, drops the package and walks away. Your dog thinks that my barking made the guy leave. He doesn't realize the guy's gonna leave anyways. So every time that happens, that reinforces and rewards the dog for that behavior, makes it much more likely to happen in the future. If you cover the bottom of the window with white paper, the dog goes up and barks. It doesn't see it made anybody leave. It also won't see people passing by your house, so the dog gets out of a habit of practice barking at the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and walk up here. And so beforehand, we've again set our dog up for success. You have to be careful where you're going. And so what we've done is we set our dog up for success by exercising. We have a real guest coming, or a fake guest coming over, instead of a real guest. And then we actually, the dog doesn't see us coming up. So I'm going to have you come and stand right over here. All right. So now this part of the window would be covered with white. And I've got right in here, I'm going to show you, I've got a bunch of treats right there in the door jamb. So when the dog comes to the door, and I would have your guests text you when they're actually here. So you're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and knock on the door, and we have a guest, the guardian inside is going to come out. Now we're going to do the delayed entry. So first thing I'm going to do, and when I'm actually at the door, I'm going to have you move over here, and I'm going to move over there. It's right now, it's fine. So when he comes over the door, all right, so I'm going to have you shift. So he's open that door, but don't open this door, and look at the dog. He's getting all these great treats. So we've already exercised him, and now he has a really positive experience. What I'm going to do now is I want to let him sniff me. So I'm going to open the door just enough so he can't get a bite on me, but that he can come and sniff me. Now he's already met me, so he's not that interested. But when I first got here, this is what I did. He came over and sniffed me a little bit. Once he did, then I reached down, let him take a treat. If a dog will not take a treat that you know that they like, that's an indication they are so aroused that they're just too worked up to take a treat. That means I should not be coming inside the house. So you're using the treat almost as a litmus test or an indicator. All right, so then basically, and this might take a couple minutes or so. If I reach for the handle and the dog gets all worked up, I might also practice this. You might have a guest come over, and you could be inside with this. So what I would do is, and film me for this part.
Okay.
So what I would do is I'd have you guys inside with some treats, and then I reach like this for the handle. The dog sees that. I pull my hand back, and then you say your marker word bien and give him a treat. And at first I might reach this much, pull back, bien, treat. Reach this much, bien, treat. Then eventually I'm touching it, bien, treat. All the while his energy is starting to come down. And again, if this is something you guys practice with each other, so sometimes people come to the door and look at his energy right now. It's as much calmer now because I didn't immediately come right inside. And so I break down the activity of reaching for the doorknob, but each time he gets a treat at the end of it, and we say bien. He doesn't know why he's saying bien, but it basically just when the people reach for the door, I get a treat, and then they touch the door and I get a treat, then they make the noises and I get a treat, then the door opens a little bit and I get a treat. And after a while, it's like, I like this thing at the door because we're creating all these positive associations. We think of opening the door just going in as one thing. There's a whole bunch of little steps. So break it down to a granular level. Do each step over and over until the dog is very comfortable and relaxed. And at any point the dog shows its indication that it's uncomfortable, back up to a previous level of success, practice that one. This is not something you're gonna do all in one stretch typically, and we're doing one video here, but you would try to do this over and over again in a lot of different scenarios so it just becomes a genuine natural act. All right, so I'm gonna have you close that door, and then I'm gonna have you wait 60 seconds, and when you come out, there's a trail of treats here. If he doesn't see him, point him out. I'm gonna be waiting right over there, and she'll be filming this, but make sure he gets all the treats and lead him up to me. So give me about 60 seconds before you come out. Walk to the top of the stairs, wait 10 seconds to come back. All right, I'm gonna have you go ahead and careful as you're going down. And try to feel, there we go. All right, so now we've got the trail of treats. I'm gonna have you stand over there by the back part of my car, but watch me through the window, there you go, of this thing. All right, so I would normally be doing this where I'm sitting on the other side of the car. Now for dogs front facing, actually come a little bit closer. And when he opens the door, just back up, but keep on coming towards me right now. I just want to make sure you can hear me. So come a little bit closer. So what I would normally do is be sitting in the car. Now for dogs, front facing is confrontational, sideways is approachable. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sitting on the ground like this. So when he approaches me, he approaches my side. If I'm standing, I'm more authoritative. So I'm sitting, that's more comfortable for a dog. And then I have a trail of treats leading up, and there's a whole bunch of treats right here, and I have treats in my hand. Now again, I would be doing this on the other side of the door, so when he comes out, he doesn't see me. I'm doing it here for expediency purposes. So in a minute, he's going to come out, and I'm going to be sitting here, and I've got a bunch of treats in both hands. When I offer the treats, it's going to be out to the side. So go ahead and step back about 3 paces, lean against my car, so you're anchored. There you go. And once he gets the treats, just let him have them. Try not to say anything to him. Just let him kind of scoop them up. And after a while, the dog, and again, we would practice this ahead of time. So that right now he's ready to run out. He's excited for walks. So then I'm gonna hold out. Now this is different than normally. So what's gonna happen, he's gonna get all these treats. So he's gonna be in a pretty good mood by the time he gets up to me. You can come a little bit closer now. So, and if he wants to sniff me, I'm not gonna reach to pet him. Sniffing is how dogs meet the world. So if he jumps up on me, that's not ideal jumping up. That's, you film me, that's fine. That's not ideal, but I don't want to reward him for that. So once he's got done getting the treats, he's usually going to come over and sniff. A lot of times I'll go, hey, Segar, I'll put some treats back here. So the dog's intentionally kind of going behind my butt, and we should see the dog kind of try to sniff me a little bit. Now, eventually when I would give him a treat, I'm gonna do it like this. Off to the side, and see how I'm leaving my hand there? He took the treat, and then he came back and licked it once. So that's why I leave my hand there. So he's getting a little sample of me. And if he feels comfortable, then I might do it again. After a couple of treats, if he feels nice and relaxed, I might ask for a sit. Bien. Bien is his marker word, so we say bien the instant the butt hits the ground. Now I could also do a little bit of another lesson we went over today, hand targeting. Target, bien. Target, bien. Target, bien. Sit, bien. Now, what have I not done? I haven't petted him. A lot of people think that petting is a positive thing, so I should do it any time. If he thinks I'm creepy, he doesn't know who I am yet, and I try to pet him, I'm gonna make him more creepy. So one of the things I like to have guests do, Segar, puppy, puppy. If the nose is on the ground, try not to compete with the nose, you're gonna lose all the time. And so you sniff him, there you go. So now the nose is up. So now what I can do is, I lost my train of thought, what I was gonna say. Sit, there we go. So basically we could do a little of this hand targeting with him. Target, target, and he is comfortable engaging with me. Now, I regained my train of thought. So if I want to pet a dog, Segar, sit. When I want to pet a dog, I go like this. See how he leaned in and touched me? That's his way of saying, yes, I want to engage with you. If I lean to touch him and he turns his head, lowers his head, backs away, or doesn't look at me or refuses to come to me, that's his way of saying, I don't want to engage with you. So if I just pet him anyways, when he's telling me I already don't like you, I'm guaranteed gonna make him not like me. So sometimes playing hard to get is a little bit more effective. Now I have treats here, and you can see I've got some good motivation for him. I'm gonna make him work for these a little bit. Not that he needs to, well, yes, he does need to a little bit. He's kind of a little bit, kind of gets everything he wants. So he paws at it, sit. Bien. So I didn't say it multiple times. And if your guest wants to pet him, they can go like this. If he leans in, they can reach over and start petting him. But just like us, he can change his mind at any point. I'm petting him and he walks away like that. I'm not going to go chase him or force him to take that, to accept that. And so the more that, and he might have some people just like us. We don't like everybody we meet. Sometimes we meet somebody and they're like, I don't like the way a guy cuts his hair. That's fine. So he doesn't have to like everybody, but he should be respectful and tolerant of them. Now, if he doesn't want to come near them, Segar, I can just drop a treat like that. Let him get it. And if he's barking at me, I would throw the treat over there. He's trying to get me to move. He wants more space between us. He doesn't recognize that he can move himself away. So I throw a treat over there. I'm still the thrower of the treats, but I'm helping him move further away. And then I offer one here, comes and takes it, great. Offer one at the side. Now when I'm actually gonna wanna get up, if I stand up when he's right here, that's probably gonna set him off. So what I would do is show him I have a couple treats, throw a couple over there, do a better job of throwing, make sure he's looking in the direction when you throw it. There you go. And then I can go ahead and go like this, if you have the ability to do it. Comes back over, gets another treat, show him another one, throw it over there. And then I can stand up, and I'm not doing it right here where it's so sudden that he gets worked up about it. Now for this, what I usually do is I end it by going for a short little walk, like about 2 to 4 minute walk. And again, this is why it's beneficial to have your friends come over as opposed to actual guests, because you feel weird asking your guests, would you mind walk around the block a little bit? And weirdo, no, it's your guest, okay. So then what do we do? Well, then we walk, and every once in a while, Segar, puppy, puppy. We're walking, sit, bien. Walk a little bit more, sit, bien. What is he doing? He's practicing listening to the guest and being rewarded and reinforced. If he doesn't want to, we just keep on walking. Now, like I mentioned earlier in this video, remember, if he stops taking the treat, that means he's too anxious or worked up or whatever. One last little tip. It's quiet. There's not a lot of distractions right now. If your neighbor's mowing the lawn, there are kids screaming over there, there's an alarm going over here, there's a truck backing up, there's a locomotive going crazy. Inside joke. But if those sort of things are going on, that can add to the situation and cause him to react in a way that has nothing to do with him. Segar, I'm gonna tie my mom up. So basically, pick and choose your battles. Arrange to have your guests come over at a time when your neighborhood is more relaxed. Make sure that you are not doing it when the kids or stuff are going on, or there's a thunderstorm. Those things can accidentally contribute to what's going on and influence the situation in a negative way. Segar. Well, that's some enthusiasm. Let's come over here and show everybody how handsome you are. Sit. This is my buddy Segar. And these are some tips you can use if you have a dog that gets a little bit upset when guests come over to visit.